Hey guys, Lisa Callaghy here to share with you a video on how to read your students' learning paths once they've taken the exact path diagnostic and while they are on their learning path. Okay, let's get started. So for this video, I'm going to show you the learning paths results for your entire class, and then I will show you what it looks like for an individual student. Remember, learning paths are the places that students go once they've taken the diagnostic and the computer algorithm determines the skill gaps they have and then drops them on a learning path to help fill those gaps. Okay, so from the menu bar at the top, choose either reading or math, depending on the subject area that you either teach or would like to look at the results for. I'm going to choose reading. Okay. From here, you have learning paths, current activities, and knowledge map. Let's start with current activities. This is going to show us where the students' current lessons are and how they are progressing through their learning path. Okay. Once you're on this page, you'll notice you'll have the ability to toggle between classes if you are departmentalized to see the results below. After that, you'll see your current list of students, and then any students that might be struggling will be put into this struggling area. Just tapping on that will give you the list of students that are struggling. In both places, you will see this chart where it is in 3 different columns: previous skill, current skill, and next skill. Before I go over what that means, I just want to bring your attention to the View Legend button here at the top right-hand side of your screen. Clicking on that is going to give you more information about what the colors and symbols mean next to the actual skills that students are working on. So you can see the orange is struggling, the blue with the arrow is retaking, not mastered is the red square with the white X, practicing, and mastered. And then if a student is not ready, you'll see it locked, and if they haven't started, it will be just gray. All right, let's take a look below and see what we see. First, the first column to the left is called previous skill. This will be populated with the skill that the student either mastered or has moved on from because they didn't master it. Just a reminder that Exact Path does not keep a student on a skill if they have not mastered it. They have 3 chances to master the skill, and if they don't, they will move on to the next skill. It is up to the teacher to take a look and see what skill the students have not mastered, and then plan accordingly. So, the student worked on this skill after his current skill, before his current skill. So it works like this. You'll see their current skill here. Once they're finished working on that current skill, either they master it or they don't master it, it's going to move to the previous skill column. And then the third column called next skill will then move to the current skill. So it's kind of like moving backwards, and then it will only show you 3. So you'll only see the next skill, the current skill, and the previous skill. You won't see the previous skill to the previous skill, but you can on a different page. So this is kind of giving you a view of the exact place that your students are on their learning path and what skills that they're currently working on and just have finished working on, and like how they did in those skills. So scrolling down will give you that information for each student. Then I would like to bring your attention to the next part of the learning path, which is called the knowledge map. Clicking on the knowledge map is going to give you now more in-depth information about skills and where your students fall. It will show you the skills that are within each grade level and domain, depending on obviously the subject area that you chose. So we chose language arts, and you can see again, you can toggle between. Below the toggle of your classes, you'll see a drop-down menu where you're able to identify and kind of choose specific domains that you'd like to look for. So you're kind of filtering down to a specific domain and get more information, or get information possibly on one screen. And I'll show you that in a second. And then you have the legend here showing you what each square represents. And if you hover your mouse over, it gives you a little bit more explanation about that particular icon. Okay, so let's take a look at our columns here. You notice that the first grade level here for skills is kindergarten, and then the skills are listed across the top of each column. Notice the skill numbers here and the grade level and the color. So the color represents the domain. So going back to our drop-down menu for domains, you'll see that the dark blue is reading foundation. So if I just wanted to isolate all of the reading foundation skills across grade levels, I can click on that. And now I'm only going to see K, first, second, and so forth. Now this is a first grade class and it's only going up to second grade, but you'll see, depending on your grade level, how far the skills will go up between grade levels. Okay? So isolating this one skill, I could take a look now and see where my students are falling. So I'm noticing that a lot of my students are working within the kindergarten skills for reading. And I'm seeing that some students are struggling in specific skill areas. These students have not mastered, these students are struggling. And then you see the ones that have their mastered, meaning they have trophies, so they've mastered that skill and they're moving on to the next skill. The way that it works, it's going to be a continuous row of skills, and the students will work within their own row to hopefully master their skills. You'll see the green kind of with light green lines through it means that they assessed above. That's the assessment on the diagnostic assessment. So when they were faced with a question from this particular grade level and this skill, they assessed above that skill. So they probably answered that question correctly. Okay? So this is your knowledge map. Now I am just showing reading foundations. If I want to see all domains, I can then change that back, and then I'm able to see where my students' skill gaps are. Okay, and I'm seeing what they're working on currently. Okay. Now, next I'm going to show you an individual student report. So if I click on any one student here, what it's going to do is it's going to show me two areas. First, it's going to show me trophies. So this is going to show me any trophies that the students have gotten on their learning path by mastering a skill, or if they've actually taken an assessment within that skill to pass or master that skill, and if they didn't, it will show me the score the student got on that skill mastery quiz. Then if you click on skills, it should show you the skills that the student has assessed above, the ones that they are currently working on, and then if there's any issues with the student within the skill that they're working on, such as they are struggling or they didn't master the skill or they're retaking, you'll see that here. I'm not sure why that's not working currently. Let me toggle back over. Let's go back and maybe choose another student. Let's try, oh, that's the one I just chose. Oh, okay. So now it popped open. All right, so now you're able to see he did get 2 trophies here. You see the grade level of the skill, and then you see the score on his test, right? So that's what this student has done so far when it comes to trophies. And then if I click on skills, it's showing me now the skills in rows and the learning path that the student is on and the skills that he's assessed above, the ones that he's mastered and where he's practicing. So this is kind of like looking at the student instead of across the page, you're seeing all the skills listed on the left-hand side, and then the students, what the students has done for that particular skill, whether they've assessed above, if they've mastered it, or if they're working in that skill. All of these you're able to print, even going back. You can print a summary of this. Okay, you can do a basic summary report or a customizable one. You could take a look at that and see which one is best for you. And then I want to jump back over to current activities so that you're able to see the student's individual current activity, if it lets me. It seems like I'm having a little bit of a problem. Okay, so I could click on a student here, and I'm going to get, again, their trophies and then the skills that they're working in. So either knowledge map or current activities, clicking on a student is going to give you the same type of information. You can toggle between math and reading right on the same page. Okay, so this has been a video on your student learning paths, how you can dig deeper into what they are working on in ExactPath based upon the results of their individual diagnostic assessment. The next video I'm going to show you is how you can actually drill down within each individual skill to see what the student has done within this skill. So for example, there are quizzes and you're able to look and review the students' work. So the questions that they had and the answers that they chose. And then I will show you in that video also how you're able to assign assignments for students that may be struggling in a skill or they didn't master a skill, for extra resources to help them. Okay, so I hope this helped. Have a great day.